Hey guys, it's Daniel.
And Matthew, and you're listening to episode 5 of our Halo TV series discussion, Saga of the Aster Chief.
Master Cheeks.
Aster Cheeks, yes.
I'm
I
actually surprised. No ass this time. They
mean,
didn't meet their quota.
one out of 5 episodes, no ass.
That means we'll get double ass next time, maybe.
Two asses at once.
Yeah.
One screen, two ass.
Ass squared.
Yes, double the ass. Anyway, so I'll give a brief overview of what happened in this episode, and then we'll obviously discuss our thoughts and its spoilers as always. So basically, the number one takeaway from this episode is that there was fucking action. Finally, it'd been fucking 4 episodes, basically 3.5 episodes without action. Fucking lot of filler, a lot of backstory. So fucking glad some shit actually happened. So they're on Aridness, and they find the second artifact or whatever, and they're trying to figure out how to get it out of the thing. And then the blonde arbiter is on Madrigal, and she's trying to find out where it is too. They're trying to hunt for using the trace remnants of it being activated last time. Soren and Kwan are on Madrigal, still trying to get to that transport ship, and their little bike breaks down, and Soren goes off on his own. He chains her to the bike. She throws a huge hissy fit trying to get out of handcuffs, and just way over dramatic and way definitely one of Daniel's least favorite characters and moments probably in the show thus far. um, I mean, if you want to comment on that real quick, or
She needs to die. I rarely root for characters to die, but I'm tired of this. She reminds me, there's only one other character that I can think that I really hated. It was that Tom Cruise movie, War of the Worlds. World of Worlds. Do you remember that?
Not seen it.
Oh, that Dakota girl was in there, and all she did was scream and yell the whole time. Like, just fucking die. And that's how I feel with her. Just fucking die. Like, her plot point, no one gives a shit about her plot point or her plot. Uh, no one even in the fucking show cares. So it's like, just let it go. No one. God damn it! Just shut up. Like, I don't know. I hate her.
I told you, he's definitely not a fan of Kwan Ha. Yeah. So anyway, the blonde arbiter. Well, so UNSC shows up, and like I said, they're trying to get the second artifact, and there's some family drama between Miranda and Captain Keyes and Halsey, and Parangoski, blah blah, something about blackmail. Just all kind of they're trying to again tie it to weave in subtle little plot
Yeah.
things. You know what I mean? Like Miranda was telling her father, like, what does Halsey have on you? Like some kind of, like, oh, are we gonna find out some juicy information? But of course, it's just like everything else in the show where they give you a little bit and then, go off and do something else. So the Covenant shows up to Aridness, and that's when the action starts, and we finally get our first view of some, jackals and grunts, and and it's pretty cool. I mean, they don't look the greatest, like their, I guess, physical design, but it was
I
cool.
just thought they were pretty low quality. Like, it reminded me of in video games when you have the sprites like far away and they kind of like lose what they don't fully render them all the way until they get close enough. That's what they look like to me. Like, kind of just like they didn't fully render all the way.
They need more anti-aliasing or whatever,
Yeah.
TSAA and all that shit.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me.
But I mean,
But
it was
over,
it was cool just the fact that it was something other than just the fucking elites.
no,
And there
no,
was
I thought it
there
was
was a brute,
cool. Yeah, the brute at the end was cool. Like the grab hammer actually like has grab physics unlike an infinite, so that was cool.
right?
um, the jackal swords that was really neat. That's cool. I don't like if that was a primary weapon, but having it as a secondary would have been neat. Because I don't know, just kind of weird to see the jackal's just the shield and the sword when they can have a gun and just get close and
It seemed like it would be OP. Like if that was ever in the games, a fucking jackal that could shield all your bullets and just get close enough to fucking one hit kill you with a sword. Like holy shit, get absolutely wrecked.
but I guess
Um,
if they have sword nails, they should have. actual like daggers.
Yeah, and that's actually true too, because I guess on the size of the jackal, they weren't the length of like a regular energy sword, like the one that we saw in the beginning where that killed Juan's dad or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that was like an energy sword. This was more of like an energy dagger, you'd say, but still longer than the little energy nail that the blonde armor has.
Yeah.
So it's I guess there's varying lengths of energy sword weapons, but it was cool. They again teased some drama between the Spartans. Like Chief had told Kai that she wasn't combat ready because he asked her to take her helmet off. Saw her uh, red hair, which by the way I was right. I told Daniel that it was gun grease. He didn't believe me because I guess I missed that part. But Vanek actually calls her. Asks, you'll have to recap that part. But basically, he says some dumb shit, and she says some dumb shit, and he calls her out on it. And
Do you ever wonder why they want to kill us? And then he says no. And then do you ever wonder why you don't wonder why?
yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And then he said something about like you're. I don't know why you asked me that dumbass question. Like all
Yeah.
the gun grease from your hair seeped into your brain. But yeah, I mean, eventually Kai ends up fighting, having to, she has to join the fight essentially because everyone's the Covenant shows up and they're trying to get the artifact. They're bringing banshees and grunts and jackals and just kind of full on assaults. So Kai has to join, and then so far the most unrealistic thing. Well, I don't know because there's been a few unrealistic things, but like a 5-shot sniper that at least that we know of. Like Kai took 5 shots without having to reload. So
Yeah.
I mean, hell, it could be a 6-shot sniper, it could be a 10-shot sniper. We don't know, but the bare minimum we saw 5.
I don't think I
Um,
ever saw her reload, to be honest.
when she was like, when okay, so she was shooting one way, like trying to protect the Spartans, and then when the dropship
Yeah.
appeared behind her and she turned around, at some point when she started advancing, I did see her kind of go like she was reloading.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not like super obvious.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there was one other thing, damn it, that I was gonna bring up about that. Trying to think realistic fight. Shit. Shit. I don't know. You can talk. I'll think about it.
Um, so I did think the action sequence was cool. I think they did well there. The kneeler looked really cool. The plasma pistols looked good. The energy, like I said, the energy daggers, I thought that was a cool new thing. And I was like, oh shit, jackals have energy daggers. Like that's kind of cool. The brute coming down was cool. I really wish that the shields would. I guess when Kai was getting shot, they kind of showed the shields, but most of the time they don't show the shields. Like when Chief's shield recharged, they don't ever show like any sort of animation that like you would see in the game. Like even in the
Oh, that's what it was. Whenever Cortana was telling him like switch to your secondary, Chief is like, I know how the game is played.
but they don't because it's a lie. The cake is a lie.
And he also threw the fucking pistol at the grunt. Like it was like, why would you throw your magnum, dude? Oh,
I thought the fight sequences are cool. I still don't like the Spartan storyline. I don't like that she was having like a I don't even know breakdown in the middle of the fight.
yeah, I don't. I made the comment while we were watching it that it's like her controller died. She was just standing there getting shot and just looking through.
But
And
it was
watching
her
everybody
emotions taking. It was her not knowing how to handle the emotions.
Mhm.
So that was never a thing in the game. Like, and I know it's a different timeline, all that shit. I know this is not made for fans of the game, but it just I don't care for it. I wanted to see super soldiers that like worked as a team that were spot on. Like I was looking forward to like cool Spartans, not like some that are freaking out in the middle of the battlefield, just lying on the floor when an elite punches them.
Yeah, it was freaking ridiculous. But what's his name? Vanek is cool. Like I said, he's called her a dumb shit or asked her why they asked that dumbass question, whatever.
Has to be my favorite character so far.
Right. And then there a couple of other cool things that the dude, like you said, the kneeler, he got combined. Like all the needles hit him in the chest and they fucking blew up. I'm pretty sure there was pink mist, but it was only a little bit of pink mist because they were it was in a warthog and they were driving, so it happened like fast. But yeah. And then he pulls out like the classic, like OG fucking Halo shotgun, the one that had like the barrel, like the flashlight or whatever on it. Like,
Yeah.
it's fucking cool. I was like, all right, fucking
Spice
nice.
343 allowed it.
Right? They're like, we don't have that shit in our games. What is this?
Right? The fuck's that? Get that Bungie shit out of here.
Right? We don't take China Lady old Destiny around here.
Yeah, so like a lot of it was actually action, which is cool. There was some more politics, like you said, too much Quan, but overall, the episode was all right, in my opinion. I still don't like the storyline.
Oh well, and so I didn't mention that either in my little brief overview recap, but Chief touches the artifact for a second time after they destroy the glass that surrounds it, and he has like more memories and stuff.
That's right.
And he flashes to the scene of basically him getting kidnapped by Halsey whenever they do it. And I think he made a comment somewhere about how you replaced me with something, but that's what you were talking about. Like, obviously, read the books and stuff, how they replaced the
Oh yeah, well, I
children
didn't talk about it here.
with the
Yeah,
Flash clones.
Yeah, they replaced the Flash clones that like only lived for around 2 years. So then eventually, all the clones died, and the parents thought that the kids were just dead, and never like that was the end of it.
That's how they were able to get away with the kidnapping.
Yeah, exactly.
The child kidnapping. Because I feel like
Correct.
kid. Well, I mean, because it's kidnapping, but it's like kid kidnapping. That's redundant.
Child napping.
Child kidnapping. Child napping. Yeah. Anyway.
Kind of human trafficking.
I mean, yeah. If we want to really get into it. Shit.
But, yeah, dude, the Oni was crazy. Anywho, yeah, like I don't know. I just never care. I don't care for the angle that they're going at it.
I mean, we don't know where it's gonna go, but
a lot of it is around the Spartans, like trying to figure out like who they are. Like the two Spartans that like took out their pills or whatever they call them. Master Chief tried killing Halsey.
Oh yeah, that was another scene. So after he awakens from his memory thing, he's like, "You bitch, you kidnapped me," and he like charges at Halsey like he's gonna deliver a fucking Shoryuken or some shit. And Cortana, what did she say? Disabled neural bridge or something? And he just like falls to the ground like a rock. Like, that's not how it worked. Physics would have kept his momentum going. I mean, if anything, she should have like just told fucking Halsey to step out of the way or something. I mean, still disabled the neural bridge or whatever, but like, just shown Chief comically
you still have
flying
Master
through
Chief
the air.
flying at you.
Yeah, exactly. It's just comically flying through the air, but like with his eyes rolled to the back of his head. Like, that would have been awesome. But yeah, so he tried to attack Halsey because of his neural implant being released, and then Kai basically almost died because her neural implant wasn't released. If it wasn't for Chief abandoning orders to secure the artifact, hopping in to save her by boarding a Banshee and kind of like pulling it to the grounds and directing it into a dropship and causing a huge massive chain reaction explosion that took out like all the jackals and grunts surrounding her, except for the one elite that was like still punching the shit out of her, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, it's, I don't know. I liked this episode because it was action. That's what I said that the show's been missing. It's fucking action. And there was a lot of it, and there was a lot of shit. So while I can agree with you, some of it still sucks. The Quan Soren thing is dumb, like you said, Quan. I'm not gonna go say as far as she needs to die, but I feel like it at least needs to be put on the back burner, or just kind of forget about her for a minute and then come back later. Like,
yeah, I can do. She can live and just like never show up in the show again. Like, that's cool. Like, get her on the show.
Yeah, but like as far as where they're going with this, the Spartans storyline, like I don't know. It could end up turning out completely different than we think.
But it's already what I don't want it to be.
Well, where do you see it going? Because I remember we made a prediction like 2 episodes ago, and it didn't really follow through with that.
Well, now there's going to be drama with Kai taking her shit out, and it's going to go back to Chief probably saying like, well, Kai like fucking fell apart. Chief disobeyed orders, so that now they're going to be
court-martialed.
Yeah, like the Spartan Project's going to be or maybe not the Spartan project itself, because the other Spartans still have their pills, but like it's gonna put more pressure on Halsey to get Chief under control, and Halsey is Halsey, and she'll just say she'll handle it. Um, Speaking of that, though, like the other Spartans, there's fucking 4 Spartans. Like where are the other, like any other Spartan?
Yeah, it's a good question. I guess the budget, you know what I mean? Like season 2, maybe there'll be more Spartans because it's already been renewed. So they're like, yeah, fuck it, we'll give you a little bit extra budget. He can have one more Spartan the next season.
Dude, I saw more Spartans like at E3.
Walking around,
Yeah.
right? Damn it.
I guess do you want to rate the mission, the level, or the level, the episode?
Yeah. I would say this is probably my favorite episode thus far, just because of the action. Like the first one was cool because it was like the first episode was cool because it introduced us and we got to see some shit. But then now they like upped that action. You know, they introduced the shotgun and somebody got super combined and there was a gravity ham and a fucking brute and a jackal and grunts. So I forget specifically what I rated the first episode. I think it was like a 6 or a 7.
I don't recall.
But so anyway, like 1 point higher than that, whatever that was. It's either so if that first one was a 6, this was a 7. If that one was a 7, then this one's an 8. But just because of the action.
Yeah. So this is honestly one of my favorite episodes as well. And like you said, because the action, and I feel like they also paid homage to the universe a little bit more. I feel like this is what the first episode should have been. Like,
or they could have had this episode sooner without all that filler in between.
Well, like the way they introduced the Spartans, they introduced them in like it was just like fucking elites or whatever. We didn't need to wait this long. Like they could have introduced the Covenant there, not just the elites. You know, maybe hold back like the brutes or whatever, but at least have some grunts and jackals. Like not just an army of fucking elites. I feel like this is what the first level should have been, or first episode should have been. I think if the other episodes still would have followed with what it was, like the show would have still be getting shit, but at least everyone would be like, "Oh man, look at those grunts! Look at those jackals! Oh, fucking jackal daggers!" Like, I would give this episode probably a 7. I think it was all right. Like, I really like that part. I still hate the storyline, like regardless of what arc it is, if it's the Quan arc or if it's the Spartans arc. All the arcs fucking suck.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like I said, we needed action and they finally fucking gave it to us. Now that episode 5 is done, this is what I mentioned, I think it was like in episode 2, where episode 6 is Pablo Schreiber's favorite episode of the series. So we'll see what happens. Like, is it?
I bet you because it's 2 asses.
He's like, yeah, we get to go ass to ass in the jail when they're court-martialing us. They're like, go ass to ass because you're getting court-martialed. We need you to remove your armor, and we're gonna re-implant your fucking neural implants. And then fucking Chief goes rogue and like hand-to-hand combats everyone while he's naked and his dong's just whipping around. He Spartan lasers them.
I'm sorry, that's Spartan laser.
Yeah, exactly. Cortana, you're still here, right? Protect us. Like, how? I don't know. I need a weapon. He said a variant of that in this episode too, which was kind of cool. He was like, Cortana, give me a weapon, or I don't think he said I need a weapon specifically, or if he did, it just didn't sound close enough.
I think he said I need a weapon, but then she was like, "What's that gonna do?" And then the brute like flew away in his non-shielded, like.
I mean, yeah. So Chief ends up getting. I don't know how he got the battle rifle, but there was like a battle rifle next to him. Like I guess Cortana used her powers somehow to make it appear, and so he just whips out a fucking BR, pops some shots off at the guy. I'm calling him Tartarus because I don't know any better, and they didn't name him.
So I'd say Chieftain.
Yeah. Anyway, so he just popped some shots off at Tartarus, but I'm pretty sure I saw the like reflective bullet effect. Like he does have armor, but it's just not obvious. You know what I mean?
I think that's what I'm saying. Like the shields don't show any like animation to them.
Well, that like I said, I thought it did, like because it hit him.
Oh, I didn't see it.
And then it kind of just like blinked, shrugged it off. Like, it didn't like get shot in the head and then just fucking die and be dead teleporting up there. Like, he got shot at. Like, Chief would have done some damage if he could, but he was shielded, so he didn't do anything. And then they just flew off like super fast. It reminded me of like fucking The Simpsons with the Poochie, where they pulled the animation thing and just like went away out of the frame. Like Poochie died on the way to his home planet. Like fucking Tartarus died on the way to his home planet.
Oh, and then they planted the human arbiter. She dropped into it, and they're like, "Why the fuck did this human drop down? Like from the what the fuck?"
Yeah, because I mean, she came down in a drop pod, which all the drop pods that had come down before that contained Covenant. That's how the jackals and the grunts and everything came down, and so this one comes down after as the thing was flying.
Everyone fucking leaves, and it's a human. And it's like, this isn't suspicious at all,
right? Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else other to say, really, because like I said, we gave it a rating, and I feel like we covered the majority of the fun stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
All right, so I guess you've been Daniel.
I have been Daniel, and you've also been Matthew.
I have, yes, I've been Matthew. So we'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Latest.